Why can't you stand him?
Who?
Yeah, that's right, but you won't forgive him for something.
I'll never forgive him. Because we were in a game on Easter Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wakey at home.
Mm.
And we made a break from our like 20 or 30. This is going on complete memory. I've never watched it back. But as he goes through, he's miles to go. And you can see Winger tracking back. And I'm just thinking, why is he going for post?
Yeah.
Why is he going for post? Just anywhere. Just go right back of him. And he goes for post and Winger tries, dive and stop him. Legs straight into post. Now it's his... Was it his ACL or his...
It might have been Ben Jones-Bishop. Was it Ben Jones-Bishop chasing him?
Don't know.
He was rapping him.
Leeds then.
I can't remember.
10.
I might be confused because he injured himself at our ground as well, didn't he?
Mm.
Not the same post, I think.
But I just remember, as it was happening, going, why is he going towards post? There was no need for it.
He was on Man of Steel form that year as well. Man of Steel form. But he gets injured.
Then you figure out Tompkins is a...
So you figure out Tompkins is a brilliant fullback. He's best fullback in the league. Pat Richards wins Man of Steel anyway.
Mm.
And we just walk the rest of the league. That year, though, what about that Leeds semi at home? Where Danny Maguire cheated. Do you remember that?
Cheated?
Yeah.
What did he do?
We made a break down the left. And Carmont was backing up through middle and Danny Maguire pulled him down.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And we got the penalty, but it was too far out and we missed.
Yeah. And do you remember? Was that Challenge Cup semi, that?
What was it? League? Was it league that? Because we then played them in the next match at their place.
Yeah, because we had to beat someone.
Yeah.
And then we had to go Headingley.
Yeah. And then we beat...
Oh, was it so when you got two bites?
When you got two chances, yeah.
That was top 8, wasn't it? Top 4 played each
eight?
other. Same thing as NRL. First, if you win first 2,
you
get the week off. And the losers play the winner of the 5 to 8.
Yeah.
And do you not remember? About 2-3 years later, Maguire did something similar on McAlorum. But as McAlorum fell, his foot went up and broke Maguire's rib.
Did it?
Yeah, as he made a break and McAlorum went inside, he tried to pull McAlorum back and he like slipped forward. His foot came up and he broke his rib.
Do you remember the Super 8s? How crap were they?
Super 8s, the middle 8s, and then the bottom.
Yeah,
The golden, what was
just
it?
for you on about flashbacks, yeah, I just think.
The £1 million game.
Just with you explaining NRL system, then I won 1v4, 5 and 8, and I was like...
Super 8s.
They did that for like a season, didn't they? And they went,
I think
it's crap, let's change
It
it.
was longer than that, Lewis. I think they
it
did
was
a
about
few.
4 or 5,
I reckon they did at least a few.
because they had at least £3 or £4 million games, didn't they?
We went through it unbeaten once.
We did, yeah. No way.
Yeah. Right, shall we do it? Let's talk about the
let's
game.
get into it. Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap, cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think, cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His
The Wigan Way podcast is brought to you by Cherry and White Pins, a local Wigan Warriors themed pin badge company with a variety of Wigan ranges. You can get free shipping on all orders when you use the code THEWIGANWAY, that's The Wigan Way, all in capitals, at checkout. Thanks to them for supporting the show.
So a 16 points to 12 win on Friday. Another derby win. It's always nice to win in the derby. There's a bit of a different feel before this one, lads, wasn't there? Obviously, both teams missing players. I know if you're a Saints fan listening, you'll have everyone believing that Wigan were at full strength. But I think it was we were missing 7 from our first 17 and Saints were missing 8. I'm not including Dodd in that, by the way.
We didn't have any players. We didn't have any. We were a two-man team, and they were both missing, so we were a zero-man team. Frankly, how he's lost to a zero-man team is ridiculous.
I can't believe he's not been sacked.
How are you going to get sacked if you lose to a zero-man? There's literally no players on the pitch.
Both teams were down to injuries. a couple of suspensions, and you can't really mention them. Who was it that was suspended for Saints?
Mbai.
Was Metaltia suspended as well?
No, I just don't think he was fit.
Was it Mbai and just Mbai? And obviously we were missing Brad O'Neill, so they count out for each other. Remember, Saints didn't pick John Bennison, number 5, and didn't pick Lewis Dodd, number 7. So don't let them tell you that they're missing the 1, 5, and 7 because they're all in different positions. But it ended up being a really high intensity game. It was enthralling. What are your thoughts on the games, lad?
Yeah, I think it was always going to be high intensity. I've never known a derby that's not. I think it was just a weird one with the team sheets that was announced. Obviously, the young fullback for Saints was on debut, so I don't think they knew what to expect really from him. We were wondering who was going to line up at 9 when we saw the team sheet at 6 because it was Luke Thompson and Tyler Dupree named at 9.
Thompson
I think
at
was it Havard, Thompson, and then Dupree in the front. So Thompson was a 9. Obviously, it didn't end up working out like that. But then was all like, how's this going to work? So I think there was a lot of like uncertainty before the game of kind of what a bit more kind of thinking about the team sheets and how it's going to play rather than the scoreline results and how is this actually all going to work.
And something I want to mention, obviously, both teams had a new fullback. They obviously had the young lad Robertson, who I thought had a very good game. He had a nervy first 15 minutes. Where probably, I think it's fair to say he wouldn't have been happy with letting it hit his shoulder and giving drop out and a couple of other things. But he actually recovered really, really well.
Yeah, he did.
And was probably one of Saints' standout men.
I completely agree.
But what I wanted to ask was, who do you think that's more difficult for? Obviously, Wigan are playing against a fullback that is an academy product making his debut, which brings its own strengths and weaknesses. But Saints are playing against Zach Eckersley at fullback, who they've seen a little bit of centre, know him as a centre. Do you think that plays with you suddenly see him out at fullback, a position that he's not played?
Eckersley, he has played fullback before in the reserves, and I think it's more difficult for Eckersley, to be honest, because he was training at centre until the last 10 minutes of the last training session. Bevan only got injured 10 minutes to go of the captain's run. So Eckersley's had 10 minutes at fullback. And he was expecting to play centre. Well, we think he was expecting to play centre out there. That might be.
He might not have been playing.
He might not have been. He might have kept this Farrell and Ferryman at 9 thing. I was thinking Kieran might be at 9. But, yeah, fair play to Eckersley for coming in and doing that after not training there all week.
Yeah, definitely. Shall we actually get into the game now? Or is there anything else to mention about the squads? Obviously for Saints, Lewis Dodd not playing.
Yeah, that's a big call.
Moving Wellesby
Big call.
and Lomax.
Do you think it paid off?
You know what I thought, and this will be really weird to say, but I thought Wellesby was trapped on one side. And I just think sometimes you've got a player who is that good. You've got to give him licence. And French for when he's at 6 has that licence to go across the field if he wants. And Smith will direct.
Well, that Robertson can play halves. So I don't know if I would have been tempted to just straight swap Robertson for Dodd and keep Wellesby at fullback. I wonder what they'll do next week. Lomax wasn't great in this game.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. A lot of Saints fans mentioning that, is it Dodd that's the problem, or is it a little bit of he's the scapegoat because he's the guy that's leaving? Obviously, Lomax has just signed another 2-year contract. Or was it for the rest of this year and next year? He's got at least another year though. Where Dodd's probably the easier person to drop considering he's moving on and leaving.
I don't know.
Was this maybe just a message from Paul Wellens? He called out, didn't he, last week against Castleford saying, what was it along the lines? He said, like, it's an honour to wear this shirt and some players didn't realise that today or they didn't exhibit that today or whatever he said. So basically calling them out saying they didn't play it well enough and didn't show effort that this shirt demands.
Yeah.
And he's dropped his star 7 who's off to the NRL. I don't know if he's done it to send a bit of a message, but like Alex Ferguson with the Roy Keane, no one is big, anybody can be dropped, and he's just doing it to send a message maybe to the rest of the team. I don't agree with that.
No.
That is why he's done it, but
He's also
just putting a theory out there.
He was also arguing with the supporters after they lost to Castleford. Dodd, and he was specifically named as arguing with the spectators.
Right, I see.
I wonder if it could have been just
take him at the line, like maybe protection thing. He's been out with the supporters. If he has another bad game, just actually give him a week off. It's a derby game. Get him out of the spotlight. Let him focus on himself.
If you've got this Robertson, like, if you know he's good, get him in. You can't do. You can't. If he goes wrong, he's not going to be that scared because he's against Wigan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Give him a go.
I'm jumping ahead of you to full time, but I thought it was very, before we went to analyse the tries and stuff, I thought it was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Strange in a way. That obviously the Saints fans were so angry last week losing to Castle at home as they should be.
Yeah.
But to give credit to them, they all stayed behind after a loss against Wigan and clapped them and cheered them off the field and kind of was happy with it. But it is, at the end of the day, back-to-back defeats, isn't it?
And they've got some tough games coming up.
And, they've got, is it Wire this week? They've got
three defeats in a row, Lewis, because it was Salford away.
Before the international. So if they lose to Wire this week, it's 4 on bounce then, isn't it?
4 in a row.
See, that's it.
They're used to 4 in a row. Done it before, they keep talking about it.
Yeah, but one of them don't count with COVID. And
don't get into
whole.
this. Don't get into this.
There's a whole.
Don't get into this.
But you're right. It was
just took off on one from another, do you know what I mean? They lost to Castleford and it were booze, they lose to us and it's, but you know what, we lost, but it was a bit of a better showing and we appreciate it.
I think there's a big difference between home support and away support, and this is not to, it's the same for every team, and this is not to call out fans who go to home games, but there is a different, like there won't have been booze at Salford. It's a different set of people that go to away games than go to home games, and I think there is an element of, even if it's Wigan, even if it's Warrington, you're expected to win at home.
Yeah.
And even if it's...
When you're a team like Saints, a team like Wigan, you should win at home.
You're expected to handle your business at home. And away, less so, I think. So I think losing at home to Castleford is a lot worse than losing at home away to Wigan. So.
Yeah, definitely. Again, just something else I've just thought about. Wellens' bench didn't use Sam Royal.
No.
The first half, he brought Parsi off, brought Noah Stevens on, then subbed Noah Stevens back off and used Parsi.
That's what he's been doing with Stevens. And
him and Parsi. But it seemed... I don't know, maybe Sam Royal was just in there to play... because Mbai was injured, was suspended, and it maybe Royal wouldn't have been in the squad if Mbai would have been fit.
But he also didn't give many minutes to Johnny Vaughan.
No, he came on very, very late.
He did well get back from Manchester, being Radio X injured.
We keep making this joke. Is it definitely Radio X?
It's Radio X, yeah, just the 4 till 7 bang on Radio X as well.
That's why you're stuck in traffic, so we weren't there for kick.
That's what I mean.
He come on in second half.
Finished work at 7, he had boots on for quarter to 1.
But what I wanted to get at was, obviously, James Bell played in the second row. I know they're missing Matautia, Batchelor, and who's the other, Matt Whitley, who would play in the second row naturally. But there's been a lot of talk about how good James Bell is at 13, and I really do rate him. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to use your big forwards off the bench, I'm not saying Vaughan and Stevens are that yet, but you've got a young bench.
Stevens is. Vaughan can be an outside back or back row. But Stevens is a prop.
But I'd just be expecting you to... When they named Parsi at 13, I thought, well, when they bring him off, Bell will go in there and Sam Royal will do 60 minutes at second row. That's what I was expecting, and I was really surprised to see Bell play 80 minutes at second row.
I also saw.
Because I don't think you get the best out of James Bell, not in the middle.
I don't think you get the best out of Parsi either.
And I don't think you get the best out of Parsi.
Who impressed you for St Helens? Because I've got a name, and I'm wondering if you say the same one. Apart from that, we spoke about Robertson, haven't we? Who impressed you?
Darryl Clark.
Darryl Clark? That's not the name I was thinking of.
Darryl Clark had a good game.
Darryl Clark did what he always does.
He does, yeah, I suppose. I mean? He was Darryl Clark, but he did he threatened us a little bit with his runs from 9. He was one was like, he's running game for them.
I was impressed with that Delaney.
Yeah.
Thought he was good, that Delaney. Number 20.
I think I said it before. He's me Ryan Sutton vibes.
Yeah.
The way he runs, very upright,
yeah,
very tall.
I thought he ran the ball really well. Yeah, put a few good shots as well. Nice little player, isn't it?
It's alright, they don't care about Luke Thompson though.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they'd like it if they were both playing for Saints.
before we go into it, I'm going to have to mention his name. How impressive were them front three, in particular, Cade Ellis, Luke Thompson and Ethan Havard.
No, man.
80 minutes.
Yes.
And Dupree started the game, and I've always thought he's a bench prop, Tyler Dupree. I think he offers more coming off the bench. But he did a lot of the early carries in that first 15 minutes, and it was clear that they were using him to make meters, and he was going to come off and be in the rotation with Harvey Hill, Mago and Byrne. I didn't, for one, see all three of Ellis, Thompson and Havard playing 80 minutes. Ethan Havard was immense, 50 tackles. Brilliant effort. Yeah. Both the other two, both in the 30s, all making round 120 metres, I think it was, in a derby. Massive metres.
Yeah, we said it before, but hasn't Ellis grown into that 13 role with the ball? Without the ball, his role stayed the same. But with the ball, he's not half grown into that extra responsibility.
Yeah,
bit of extra responsibility.
I loved his Instagram post. Have you seen that? Sorry,
no.
Nothing better than a derby win.
Oh yes.
Oh, and I was just like, okay, that's all for me.
Didn't Harry Smith put like easy 2 points or something?
I hope he did. I've not seen that, but I hope he did.
I think Harry put something for the old.
Shall we go into this game now then? Into the actual events of this game.
What did Jack Wellsby put on his Instagram? Picture of him with his cup in his ears and trying to antagonise the crowd. But he was quiet on social media on Friday night, Jack Wellsby.
2 names for you. Harry Newman. I forgot his name who did it against Cass.
How can you forget that?
Shook the crowd after the first try.
That was one of the most funny moments of last year at Magic Weekend.
You never, ever, ever give it that.
Celebrate too early.
I'm going to say you shouldn't do it in the first 60 minutes. Unless you're 40 points to 0 up and you score in the 60th minute with a worldie. Like, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to sound nasty. It was just support play. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. It's like support play. But it's not like he's absolutely danced around 3 people and scored an absolute hog on the full length of the field. He's literally made a break. He's done what every good 6 half-back should do back up the field. Caught the ball, ran and put it down.
Cyrian's bust through the line and offloaded.
Yeah.
I thought Robertson did really well.
Robertson's taken the offload, squared up the fullback and give it to him.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's giving it the vigour.
Yeah.
If anything, Cyrian should have just been stood on halfway with the gladiator pose, saying, "Now you're not entertained," because it was brilliant work from him.
Going into the details of this try, little bit slow getting back. They got a little bit of momentum, and it probably came from the Cade Ellis kick.
It definitely did.
About 2 or 3 sets earlier.
This added responsibility I was on about does not include kicks to the corner. His kicking licence. Not approved.
The thing is, though, it would have been a decent kick, just a yard further forward.
Yeah.
But we gave the 7 tackle set away. We then didn't really get out of yardage.
There was a quick play of the ball. They made Junior do a lot of tackling early doors.
I think they were targeting Farriman.
Yeah, Farriman and Junior defending. Did they defend together?
Yeah,
against Cyrian. I mean, that's a tough ask for anybody.
And Lomax wasn't it on
defending against Cyrian because he's a good ball.
Cyrian and Wellsby, sorry. But with this, they just got that quick play of the ball, and Assemble was sort of stuck around the ruck, and Cyrian got 1-on-1 with Farriman. A couple of men come across to try and help him out, and he gets an offload away. Robertson backing up, did really well, drew the full back, and then Wellsby scores under the sticks, makes it 6 points to 0. Should have mentioned, and I did completely forget about it. Really good tackle from that Robertson about 4 minutes earlier on Wardle to hold him up over the line.
Oh yeah, I thought it's cool.
Did really well. Jake Wardle, I just thought it was try. When he takes that step and gets through the line, I thought it was try all day long.
To be fair, I know I've just kind of slagged off Jack Wells saying it was only a support play, but I think as a team for St Helens, that try come off the back of the defence. Because we did put under pressure in that 10 minutes. We forced many dropouts and stuff, and they managed to keep us out. And I was sitting there and just going, it's come off the back of some good defence for them. That they've earned that try through the defence.
Yeah. You're just waving at me, Matty. We did forget that, didn't we? The yellow card, first minute.
Same way I was waving at the ref.
Matty Lee's got a yellow card. About 50 seconds in, was it?
Yeah.
Mitigating factor. Obviously, he was already in the tackle and
it was definitely mitigating.
And they were falling. Yellow. completely happy with that. I never thought it was a red.
No, in the rules this year, it's yellow.
And I just want to say that again. I am sick of hearing people say it's not a yellow, should be a yellow, because ultimately that's the way that the game's going. I don't think it should be the way that I know rugby league. But they're not refereeing it the same way that they refereed it 10 years ago. The game has adapted and changed, and
it's more forceful than what Mike Cooper did in the cup final.
Yeah.
And then it was to the same body part. So you can't really complain. I mean, when we get onto it later on, Andre Savelio, now that's a red card. Right? That you could never argue that and Matty Lees and Mike Cooper were all the same.
No.
So give a yellow card for this was right. I've seen people saying it's the worst yellow card in the history of rugby league. I'll give you one guess what team that person supported. But it's not. It's not the worst yellow card. It's been consistent all year with that being a yellow card because it hits him direct to the head. But there is mitigation.
Now, on the 22nd minute, roughly, Wigan score, and again score from our own half, scoring from deep, just short of the halfway line.
We hit back, didn't we, when they scored? Both times they scored, we hit back immediately.
Yeah. Play the ball to the right hand side of the field. Gets out to Eckersley, who, again, we've seen him at centre. If you've watched the reserves, you might have seen a little bit of him at full back or through the academy. But this is just brilliant full back play. I love the way that he holds the ball out in front of him. One thing I did notice, they moved Percival across to the right hand side, not something he's used to deal with Jake Wardle. I don't know whether that was to deal with Jake Wardle or to...
I think it might have been. He's a good defender, isn't he, Percival?
But he's that worried about him.
Oh, you have to be.
He leaves Eckersley one-on-one with Lomax.
It looked like we were watching our first choice fullback hit the line. That it's exactly the same shape that J-Field hits. Ball in the same position. It looked exactly like Field.
There was actually a couple of sets before that where I said to you, didn't I, Tom, obviously we sit next to each other. And there was one where a similar thing happened up, like a gap opened up, and I thought it was going to go and it passed it, and I went to you there. I'd like to see him to run that because the gap opened up for him. And then the second time, obviously he backs himself and thinks, no, if that gap opens, I'm going for it, and he does go for it, and he gets his reward.
And I know he's a big lad, Eckersley. Definitely over 6'1", 6'2". And he's sharp. He looked really strong here. Lomax is a decent defender for a halfback.
Yeah.
Like he's not
Played fullback, so he's used to one-on-one tackles.
Yeah. Sometimes when you see, because he's a former sprinter, Eckersley, like champion sprinter. Sometimes when you see these athletic prodigies coming to rugby, they haven't got the toughness, the strength to get through a gap. They've got the pace once they get free, but they haven't actually got the power to finish it.
to actually break through.
Eckersley's got it, you know. You can see why so many people are so excited about it.
Yeah. Does the same thing, gets through, draws Robertson, and back inside to Jake Wardle backing up. Jake Wardle didn't give it the big one to make it 6-6. I thought that would have been the time to really give it back, you know, because
Not if he's Jake Wardle, he's old school.
I just love him.
He's old school Jake Wardle. He's not going to give it the big one to the away supporters, is he?
No, not at all. That's in the 20th minute. No real try-scoring situations at this point then for the rest of the half. Obviously the game finishes 6-6.
I'm wrestling this.
One thing I do want to mention just before half-time, a play-on from Wonga Blake.
Was this the most obvious knock-on ever that was given backwards?
When he's just stopped. He just stopped.
He stopped and then goes, actually, I need to dive on this so Wigan don't score. And then he just gets waved play on. And I know there was only maybe two minutes left. But this is such a bad mistake.
Everyone in that stadium, apart from the ref, knew it was a knock-on.
Well, actually, I think the ref asked the touch judge.
So the touch judge
And the touch judge just guessed.
Yeah. We can end the set. End that half with a couple of repeat sets. Really put the challenge on. There was a Smith chip over the line. Very similar to the try he scored against Catalan.
Yeah.
At the start of the season.
They did
Probably a
remind me
little
of it,
bit closer. Again, I love it though because he saw Robertson step up into the line, and as soon as he saw it, it was like I'm asking you that question. I'm making you worried about it. Did anyone else suspect the attempted drop goal?
Yeah. I thought he must have tried it the set before, did the chip and chase.
Yeah.
Because he does like a drop goal on a stroke of half time. Once we got that repeat set, I was definitely taking a shot.
Yeah. There was no time, and
he just hit it right. And it's tough from that distance. You have to absolutely nail it.
But what I do love watching it, just watch how he tries to hide that he's going. He never once sprints. And I think as he's taking the drop out, he's still facing the wrong way. As if like he's not paying attention to the game.
I don't know why, because they couldn't actually charge it down anyway.
I think it just buys you a little bit more time, doesn't it? That Miskie's obviously fully aware of what's going to go on. He's looking for Harry Smith straight away. And they have a go. If it goes over, brilliant.
Miskie's been taking the kickoffs, hasn't he? Or instead of Ferryman.
So's Marshall on the other side. They both do it now.
Marshall's done that forever because Smith's been kicking goals. Marshall's done that forever.
You know what? I've got no issue with it.
Your wingers and your fullback are the best on the high ball.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a halfback? It doesn't have to be, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all. 6-6 at half time. What were your feelings at half time, lads? Was there any sense of nerves or anything for you?
Yeah. I said we've not been the better side. It's been even, but we've made them work harder.
Yeah,
especially with the 10 minutes sin bin. We've also got the better bench, and I was much more confident in our bench than Saints bench because we had a lot more experience with a lot better players than they did, and so I thought, right, so it's level. We always say if it's level at half time in a big game, we're favourites, and we had a stronger bench, and they'd had to work a bit harder.
With that bench, that's still not used. I know they hadn't used Royal and they hadn't used
Johnny Vaughan.
I think there was someone else they hadn't used off the bench. That's only two.
Well, they'd definitely used Stevens.
That was the only subs they made.
I think that's when they missed, didn't it? They used Stevens for Percy, and then Percy come back on.
That was all they did.
So there was someone else on the bench. I can't remember who it was, but I wasn't worried about them. I wasn't that worried about Royal. But to be honest, I stood at half time going, I don't know how they're going to get him in game. I don't know how they're going to get Vaughan in game. These players on the bench, I wasn't thinking that they were going to pull a master straw, whereas I was sort of already...
Oh, Burns was on the bench at young 9.
Yes, sorry.
So they didn't use him.
I was sort of already thinking about Liam Byrne going at 6-6. We'll do what we did in the cup final. We had May go on just before half time and bring Byrne on. I knew what... I'm not saying I knew the exact plan, but you knew there was a plan for him and how they were going to get him into the game and rotate these players on and off.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see that from St Helens.
Yeah. I thought the same as you, Matty. I wasn't necessarily nervous. I thought to myself, they're tired. That first half has cost them more energy than it's cost us. You know what I mean? Having to defend that opening 10 minutes of non-stop drop out and defend your line, drop out and defend your line. I mean, that takes it out of you. And it will catch back up to you in the second half. You think you're okay because the adrenaline gets you through, but it catches back up to you later on in game.
Like I said, they did the exact same in the last 5-10 minutes. Repeat set. Really made Saints work hard. So come on into the second half. 15 minutes, nothing really happens.
No.
I was really glad that we didn't try and overplay.
Yeah.
That was my worry.
I'm always glad when we don't try and overplay. We lose our shape. It's like if we tried to hit the ball too hard on Saturday.
Yeah.
You lose your shape. You don't hit it right. You can put all the power into it, but you're not hitting it right. You can't hit a ball 100% power. Same here, you can't play 100% always trying to play, unless it's the last second and you need to try. You can't do it.
And this season, I am going to have a bit of a research into this, but I would suspect that we've scored a lot of our tries, over 25% in the last quarter of each half. I think worn teams down and then put the points on at the end to take a 10-point win to a 20.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do. But let's go into it. Sirinen did really, really well near the line.
Yeah, this was off the back of Walter's coughing up possession.
Yeah. We just didn't wrap the ball up, and it's simple enough.
Yeah.
He gets an offload away, get it out wide to Blake, and I think it was Farrimond and Miskey who came flying across.
That was the only way they were going to score, was get the ball near the line, offload, throw the ball out, get a bit of chaos. Chaos is what they need.
Yeah.
And it's weird to think of St Helens needing chaos, but Darryl Clark thrives off it. And that's the only way they're going to score. I just think at that point in the game, they were playing our game better than we were.
Yeah.
They were being safe. They weren't coughing up the ball. They were defending well, and they were taking risks close to our line, which is what we always do. Don't take any risks inside your own half. Take them all when you get up there.
Yeah.
And the reward for that was this try.
Let's jump on to Wigan's next try. It was only 5 or so minutes later.
Yeah, thanks to Ben Davies.
Well, there was another. Was the Ritson one before this?
Oh yeah,
Ritson mention it.
Ritson was in the first half.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Why? I'm gonna say Ben Davies doing that against any other team probably isn't an issue. You realise that the line's there. He's not got as much time as he wants for his prop to run onto it. I'll just take a one in and try and find my front. Ritson, I have less sympathy for. Because when you've got a team so well drilled at putting people in touch, and you know what, you might not think it's rugby, as I've seen some comments saying. It's just not rugby. But under 7s and under 8s, if you need the touchline, you taught to try and put him in touch.
Yep.
You taught to use the touchline as an extra defender.
Every team would do it if they were as good at it as we are.
And against a team like Wigan, I'd love to know how many we average, but I bet we're averaging near 2 a game.
I think when you do it often, they don't go near the touchline again.
No.
So yes, it's good because you win the ball back, but also it's good because it narrows the field for the opposition. So I think probably more like 1 a game.
But this isn't just a recent fad that Wigan have done in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh.
I remember us doing it probably this time last year. After Magic, it became a real big...
After we played Catalan in Catalan, was it 36-0 we won?
Yeah.
And he literally took a drive off kick-off and he threw him in touch.
Yeah.
That's a prop off kick-off. That's the safest carry in rugby league. You catch the ball, give it to the prop, he runs it in and he takes a tackle and we somehow managed it. Was it off a penalty?
Might have been a penalty.
I think it was a penalty, sorry, not a kick-off. He tapped it. But again, it was just like throwing it into the field, not even down the blind side, and they still just managed to drag him 10-15 metres towards the sideline.
I just think when you're not playing a team who does it once every 5 or 6 weeks. You're playing a team that tries to do it every time you go wide. You can see us trying to hold the ball up. Jake Wardle is phenomenal at it, and I want to mention it on the Ritson one. Just watch Wardle, how he gets hold of Ritson and just holds him up and waits for support. He doesn't let him find his front. It takes incredible strength to do that. And the rest of them come in and nail him and put him in touch. And I know it might not be rugby.
It's rugby. Because it's rugby. It's what rugby's built on.
I can't get over
I see
that
people
comment.
picking them up and throwing them in touch. That is rugby league. That's what you're playing for.
League.
Because you want to pick people up and throw them in touch.
I just love that comment. I read it every day for a laugh.
Rugby. What is rugby then?
But Davis obviously then gets thrown in off the kick-off.
Yeah.
And that's a real kicker for Saints. And obviously he took a lot of criticism. When in reality, I don't think he had that bad of a game. I don't think he played particularly poor. He took a lot of criticism from Saints fans in the last few months.
Who's this? Sorry, Ritson?
Davis.
Davis, yeah.
I thought he had a steady game. He didn't. Obviously, Kieran scores later.
Well, I didn't.
Later.
Apart from that, where he got thrown in touch, that was the only time I noticed him.
Yeah.
And for a guy filling in, you don't want to get
It's
noticed.
probably your 4th, 5th choice centre.
Yeah, you don't want to get noticed, do you?
No.
If you're 4th or 5th choice, you don't want to get noticed. Eckersley off this was literally a whisker, like a bug's whisker, away from scoring.
It really reminded me of French and Field. The way that they sort of go down a bit of a corridor where there's nothing really going on and they just keep stepping off each foot trying to find a half break.
That was brilliant.
It was absolutely brilliant. And again, I think it was Robertson and I'm not sure who else was in there. Might have been, was it Delaney or someone like that that just hold him up over the line, short of the line. But Wigan do really, really well then. We talk about attack on one side, attack the other. Farrell in at 9. Gets the ball out to Farrimond. a Cade Ellis offload.
Yep.
That's
That's
2 in 2 weeks.
I know I said last week Cade Ellis offloads are great because you don't see him so often. They're out of the blue and take everyone by surprise. He's done 2 in 2.
But that offload hits Farriman's hands. Farriman straight out to Smith. And they just play it to perfection here. Smith draws his man, gives Walters enough time to catch and pass against Ben Davis. Davis just has to do his job though and try and tackle Walters. Great hands. Finds Kieran, who slides in at the corner. Very, very close to the side, and this was a massive, massive kick for Harry Smith.
Well, at 12-10, this kick was... You cannot be understated how enormous this kick was.
Massively. 3 or 4 minutes later, we talk about it going bang bang, try, and then scoring 1 or 2 sets later. Cade Ellis tackled centre field. This time, Farriman jumps in at 9, hits Harry Smith, who hits Eckersley on that looping art that we've got so used to seeing from ex-Wigan fullbacks.
Who started that off? Surely it's Sam Tompkins. I reckon Roberts was doing it.
Roberts, I know we were talking about him before, but I feel like that block play with the fullback out the back.
It was a Michael Maguire thing. It felt
thing.
like it was a Michael Maguire thing.
Yeah. I feel like he brought it over. Maybe thinking, what was his name? That Aussie coach that just came in about 8-9 for Saints.
Millwood. Ian Millwood.
No, after that. Anderson. Mick Potter. If it's Saints, it's Mick Potter.
No, man, I would say.
Anderson.
Who was him that was at Huddersfield?
Nathan Brown.
Was that in 9?
Oh, Nathan Brown.
He'd started to bring that
I wonder
in.
if that was before or after Maguire.
I think he just came just before.
Yeah.
I'll have a check of that in a sec. But around that time, Maguire, we certainly were the first ones to implement it so obvious that everyone knows what block play you're going to put on.
Yeah.
But we just watch and pick the right option. It becomes near on impossible to defend. He gets a 3-on-2 Eckersley. He's got a 3-on-3. He gets on the outside of Lomax, beats Percival on his inside, and scores. Phenomenal. And really, really good again. I've got
Third best fullback in the league.
and the rest.
And fourth, Matt Miskey.
To be fair, I'd be surprised if he could. Actually, could go out there.
We're going to need somebody this week, aren't we? With Adam Kieran being suspended.
Might get Douglas again.
Miskey centre, Douglas wing.
Might have to be.
What's Ian Thornley doing?
Playing second row for Wigan.
No, he had a brilliant game, didn't he, Eckersley?
He's brilliant.
He's one of those as well, I feel like. For someone coming in doing a job at, played centre and then goes in at full-back once.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see him play full-back next week against Hull. I hope he does. I hope they find someone else to play
he stays
centre.
full-back.
Yeah, I think he's got to after that performance. He's got to do.
He has to stay full-back until Field's back.
Yeah.
I
But
wouldn't
that
be
might only be
surprised.
one more game, guys. That might only be one more game. Then how do we keep him in? He's got to stay in the side somehow. My temptation would be to keep Farriman in the team, give Farriman a long time till French is back, basically, and have Eckersley as the fourth bench player instead of Leeming.
Well, I wouldn't mind it until Lehman's back.
Until Leeming's back, because I don't know how long Leeming's out, but it's still quite a while, isn't it?
I thought I read 6-7 weeks.
So still a few more left. Yeah. So
I would be surprised if he's back similar just before French.
right? So I would do. Imagine if those two came back at the same time. By the way, and both were flying for the end of the season. I would put Eckersley on the bench with Walters and 2 props, and then you could have cover for 1 to 5.
Yeah, with
Eckersley. You can also then cover 9 with Kieran and halves with Kieran. So you've got one player that covers every spot apart from
props and second row.
Props and back row.
And if you pick up an injury there, you've got Sam Walters.
You've got 2 props and Sam Walters on the bench as well. I think that's probably what I would do.
Yeah,
Just
I'd be happy with
until
that.
Lehman's back, because he can cover 1 to 7 and 9.
Well, they might just give people a bit of a rest. Obviously, Marshall's not really missed a game. I don't think Miskey's missed one. I won't be surprised to see maybe a little bit of rotation there if someone's carrying a bit of a knock.
The other thing I've seen for next week, just for Kieran being banned, is people saying Hampshire full-back and Eckersley moves back to centre to cover for Kieran.
What do you think?
I think Eckersley will stay full-back.
I would like Eckersley to stay full-back, but with Kieran being banned, it is then who does fill in at centre.
I think to me it all depends on when is Field back. If it's for one game and Eckersley's not playing full-back against Warrington, then you might as well put Hampshire back there and have Eckersley in centre. If you need Eckersley to play full-back a few more times,
Keep him up full-back.
if Field's still a month away, because we don't know, do we?
No.
Not really, no.
We were aiming for Warrington when he first got injured. We've not heard much. So if Field's still a month away or 3 weeks away, you might want Eckersley to stay full-back. If he's not...
So just go through that, obviously. Our next couple of games, Hull FC on Saturday,
Yeah.
Warrington, and then is it Huddersfield at home? Remember, right? Huddersfield at home, and then it's the league game on the Tuesday.
Yeah, rearranger.
The rearranged, and we go to Leeds. So in the next 4 weeks, we've got 5 games.
Yeah.
If Field is fit to play at Warrington in 2 weeks' time, I'd probably move him.
Yeah.
If Eckersley's going to play full-back at Warrington, he has to play at full-back.
Yeah, I
this
agree.
week.
That's what I think. I think that probably it's unrealistic also for us to expect to go through that undefeated
Yeah.
when we've not lost since Hull KR. There's probably a loss coming. That 3 games in a week is going to be really hard.
But again...
If it's one loss in those 5 games, we'll win the league leaders.
Yeah. Well, I was reading today, obviously with the games left and the points that we're on, we have the potential to hit 50 points.
We'll not hit 50 points, I don't think.
I don't think we will. But the next best can only hit 44.
Yeah.
So we could actually afford to lose 3 games and still be in it with points difference. Or lose 2 games and win it outright.
Yeah.
So when eventually that slip up does come, because it will, let's be honest, you don't go undefeated forever. Like, there's reasons these things are records. When it does come, coughing up 2 points there isn't going to be the biggest of concerns for me.
No.
And we just have to go and set it right and deal with it later on and make sure we don't have a slip up after that.
If we keep winning, like, the team's going to need a loss. The team needs a defeat. Keep yourself hungry, keep yourself learning. The team needs a defeat.
Yeah.
I know last year we did that 13 in a row?
Yeah, because
Well,
we went into this season and it ended up being about 17.
But that was coming off the back of losing in the cup semi-final.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you just need...
And that bad spell around Magic.
Maybe it's Magic, maybe it's Lee, maybe it's Warrington.
Well, I said it last week, I'll say it again. I said the 2 league games and the 2 Saints games, I wanted 3 wins out of them 4. We've won 2 out of 2.
If those are the only 2 games we lose, we'll finish top, obviously.
I think we'll win one of them.
As long as we finish top, I'm not bothered what happens.
I think we'll win one of them. I wouldn't mind losing one of the others. But I get the feeling that there's that much competition for places. And we've not even mentioned the likes of Sam Essay's playing at Leeds. There's players that can come back. If we need to rest a couple of players for 2 weeks, let's say they decide that they want to give Cade Ellis 2 weeks off. There's plenty of options there. I'm not certain that there's going to be a week where we just go, let's just have a chill.
I think he might choose a game. Perhaps it's Hull FC at home. That seems to be our easiest remaining game. London had finished, Casa finished. Maybe Hull FC at home, and he puts the reserve side out. But we got to think the reserve side's still pretty strong.
I'm just going to check when that is. So that's
It's near the
25th of August. That'll be 3 weeks before the end of the season. Catalans away on a 6-day turnaround.
You take your strongest team to Catalans, don't you?
Hull KR at home and Leeds at home.
That's the one I would do. Unless he wants to do one of the unless he does Huddersfield at home.
Magic's the week before.
Yeah. So I reckon he might rest a few for Huddersfield, given that it's 3 games in a week. And then he might rest the rest on that Hull game. In between Magic and Catalan away, you've got to rest. I think
Hull this week he might rest a couple.
Yeah, but
Warrington.
it's been a lot.
He might just press 2, give 2 off here, 2 off there.
I don't think he will, because we've had a few injuries and because we had the week off a few weeks ago anyway, 2 weeks ago anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we're resting him this week.
I don't think he's resting him this week.
Plenty of options though.
Yeah.
It's a good squad. We got a good squad. We got a good 30, 25, 30.
I know I'm just talking about it here, but I can't see Matty Peake wanting to give up a game.
No,
I can't see him going, listen, we'll go and rest
but he has been
know
pragmatic and given away games in the past.
Yeah, like we played was it Hull KR away?
Yeah.
We played all the kids and we've done it to Saints. Was that under Landman?
Yeah, Pete's done it at Hull KR. He tried to do it against Catalan, but they did the same thing.
Yeah. But you know what? Them times, Martin messed us up a little bit, when you think about it.
Yeah.
So, I think he might just keep going. There's every chance he might just keep going, just keep rolling.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Great position to be in. Right. So, we do it every week. We've kept our own Man of Steel charts just for Wigan players.
Yeah.
Obviously, usually works that if a Wigan player gets the man of the match, it's for the same reasons we've seen. I think there's been 1 week maybe where we've not give 3 points to a man of the match.
Oh, we've probably had a few times where we've not done it, but
but actually this is a really interesting situation because French has obviously been the standout player of the season so far.
yeah.
Gives a bit of time for some other people to make up some points here, and obviously we give Zach Eckersley 3 points.
We gave Zach Eckersley 3 points. I think he deserved it.
But we had a funny situation. Obviously, we normally give 3, 2, 1 out. We've actually gave 1, 1 and 1, and it was for them 3 big forwards that we named at the front. Havard, Thompson and Ellis all got a point each.
I'm tempted next year to change the system slightly because I think the 3-2-1, it doesn't give as much to players who play week in, week out and do the job. So, like, Farrimond is on more points than somebody like a Brad O'Neill.
Yeah.
Because he had a flashy 3-pointer and a 1-pointer here and there, and O'Neill's just picked up 3 singles. So I'm tempted. The best way to do it is to, if you play, you get 6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And if you don't play, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling.
This game we could have given to, though. I think
Yeah.
Harry Smith. I think Farman had a good one again as a young lad. I think Harry Smith, without, with no O'Neill having to control that, a lot of it fell down to him.
Wardle for
Harry
his
Smith
defence. Wardle was great for his defence.
There was loads you could have given
Thought
points out to.
did a good job protecting Farrimond. There was
He
that
did.
one time
He
where
did.
Tyrion got through and Wellesby ends up scoring.
You can't begrudge a good play making a good play like Sirenen. You can't say, well, he should have stopped that every time because he's a good player. You can't have it both ways.
You're not going to nil Saints.
No.
Do you know what I mean? We're not going to nil. We're not going to win a derby and keep them trials out.
No.
Not really, not a proper one anyway.
Should we just mention who's got the points and how the leaderboard's looking at round?
Yeah.
What are we on? Round 16?
I think that was 17. We've only played 16.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And we're including World Cup Challenge and Cup games in this.
Yeah, so obviously Bevan French has been the standout this season.
Yeah.
25 points. Jake Wardle's got 18, Luke Thompson 11.
Well, 12 now.
12, sorry, now,
that
yeah.
one yet.
And Field, Marshall, both on 10. Obviously Field's missed a large portion of this season and played quite a bit injured.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see whether he can come back firing and probably find the form that he had at the start of...
Well, without French, he's going to have to.
Yeah. Harry Smith's on 8, Brad O'Neill on 6, and then we get a large group around 5, 4 and 3.
Yeah, all the rest of them.
I won't go through all
There's
of them.
loads on singles as well.
But everyone's chipping in.
Well, like I just said then, this game you could have dished more right. I thought Harry Smith was very good. I thought December, like you said, Farrimond was another good one. His first derby as a young lad and he stood up, he didn't go missing.
I think Harry Smith suffers with the fact of he's so consistent at bossing games. He might not do the flashy standout stuff that other players do, but he's so good at
The general, as we always call him, he's the general, just marshalling everyone about, just taking control of games, kicking early for turning around, putting the ball, kicking in touch for slow the game down. He's a tactician.
Almost.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
Real
Almost
rugby
perfect
league
every
brain, real rugby league brain.
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Long segment, but was Derby Day. Deserves a long segment.
Yeah.
I can carry on talking on it if you want.
We could, but I think we
Let's
should move on. Just
Yeah,
for
should we move
our
on?
sake, and
Let's move
mix
on.
it up with a bit of variety.
Right. We'll come back. We'll do the Eyecatchers when we come back. Thank you.
Okay, then before the eye catchers this week, we've got shot of the week, and it's kind of like a double because Brendan Piakura, the Broncos' second rower, did 2 unbelievable shots in the same set. He hit Ravalawa, this is on the Dragons, the winger. He nailed him first tackle of the set, dumped him on his back, and then third tackle of the set. He wasn't involved in the second, third tackle of the set.
Bit lazy that really.
Jack DeBellin goes wide and he gets absolutely smoked. Just absolutely destroyed. Belted right mid-rib. Legal tackle. That's the shot of the week.
So if you want to see that, you need to go and check out the highlights of the Brisbane versus St George Illawarra Dragons.
How long have
Yeah.
you got over here for that?
I have just retweeted it as well.
Has he got like 8 games over
Because it
here
was
for
a
that?
it was a legal shot. It was a brilliant hit. So eye catchers then. Tom, you go first.
Mine's going to be a suggestion that's been thrown out there by a current Super League player, Toby King, ex-Wiganer.
Oh yeah.
Because I do love Toby King.
Well, we all do.
It kills me that he's playing for Warrington. But he has come up with what I think is possibly the worst suggestion ever. The wildcard game. What's it going to be like? So the idea is once the teams are named, you can, once a season, elect to play a wild card, right? Against someone. The top 4 can only do it against the top 4 of last year. Middle 4 of last year can only do it against the middle 4. And the bottom 4 can only do it against the bottom 4. Right? And you get double points if you win. But if you lose, you get -2.
What?
And he said, like, when the teams are named, the coach of that team needs to come out and, like, with a card or whatever. And I'm just imagining Money in the Bank. You know, like,
It has just been
oh
Money
my
in the
God,
Bank.
Sam Burgess is coming out. He's playing the wild card. You know what I mean? That's
Cashing in. Get a referee out here.
Drew McIntyre cashed in the same night he won it and lost.
He did.
But
That's bad briefcase management. That
Very, very bad.
WWE fans.
But then,
Coaches compete in a ladder match. Win the wild card by climbing the ladder and securing it from the top of hanging down from the roof of the stadium.
but what really did me was he tried to justify it because then, like, he went, "You've been in the changing room saying, lads, these think they'll roll us here because they're playing the wild card."
What a load of rubbish. I'm sorry, Toby, if you're listening. You won't be listening. What a load of absolute rubbish. That's the worst idea I've ever heard. It's not. Well, is it worse or is it not as bad as Gus Gould's 20 points for a win?
If you win by so
If
many,
you win by so many, where he give you so many points.
if you won by like 45 or more and whatever, yeah, that was no. I think this is worse
I think this is worse as well.
because then you'd have everyone and they just have a W next to the name because the wild card's not been played and
And also, it doesn't take into account the fact that you have teams that vary from year to year.
Yeah, definitely.
I was just looking at
We just
who
get
finished
boring.
were in 2023 and like it does it annoys me, but like Hull KR, who finished 4th last year, would have to play against Catalan Saints or Wigan. Where Lee would get to play against Warrington, Salford or Leeds for finishing lower.
And everyone in the bottom, so Hull FC, Cass and
Huddersfield.
were just all playing against London, and they already get guaranteed double points. It's
don't
not
like it.
happening. Sorry, Toby, it's not happening. Lewis, your eye catcher, please.
Swiftly moving on. My eye catcher, it's something that we have talked about a couple of times on this podcast, especially in recent weeks, but it seems to have caught the attention of the rugby league community at the minute. There's been a bit of a discourse going around on social media, a couple of posts highlighting that play acting is creeping into the game.
Yeah.
So just
Was it Simon Griggs who said it as well?
Simon Griggs.
I think he said it.
Is he the first coach who's probably called it out,
Yeah.
I reckon?
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're referring here play acting to obviously players who do get knocked in the head, but who probably could get up and play the ball, but are deciding to take a knee and stand there. So then the ref calls time off, watches the replay 3 times in slow motion on the big screen. They're all on the big screens now, and the replays are on because Sky's at every game. And they take advantage of that, and then the referee's watching it. And originally he said it's just a normal tackle, get up and play your ball. He watches it 3 times on the screen, sees that actually there is contact to the head, and therefore your team win a penalty. And he's saying that this whole referee watching the screen is leading to more people play acting in the game, pretending they are hurt.
It is.
When they're not really hurt. Even though they have been hit in the head, they're not really hurt. They could get up and play the ball, but they're just saying, actually, no, I've just felt contact to my head. I'll stay down and hold my head because I could end up winning a penalty. I'll get one of them sets off.
And we've got to call it out. We've started doing it. We're going to start doing it.
But there's 2 or 3 solutions to this. One, and this is the way that I think the game's going, that any contact with the head is a penalty. So then you give it. Whether a player stays down or gets up, you have to give it. 2, turn that screen off. Because I've seen so many people saying, it's actually the video ref that gives it in his ear. It's not. You never ever saw this last year at games that weren't on Sky. And now, because every game's on a big screen, people can disagree with me.
Yeah, but then that would mean that the video ref is doing it. Because you said it never happened at any games where it wasn't on Sky.
Well, it wasn't on Sky.
So there was no video ref.
But it's a mixture of the video ref and just looking at the screen. Because what he'll do, the ref, is he'll look at it and then walk over to his touch judge, put his finger next to his ear, as if he's being told something.
I think they do actually get told something. I reckon you do what football do, off for 2 minutes. If you stayed down there, you're off for 2 minutes at least. I don't think you can. I don't think you can go for. I don't think you can go for a mandatory head test because it could be, your neck or your face. I think it's come off for 2 minutes. Even if you get the penalty, you come off for 2 minutes. My suggestion would also be that the overruling and giving of cards is only for off the ball incidents.
So if the ref misses it,
if you hit it, so hits on suspicion.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of hits on suspicion, definitely. I'm thinking of professional fouls. I'm thinking of what else am I thinking of? Late hits after the ball's been gone. If you are going to pull the game back and give, for example, the Mulhern on Ellis late hit, or you're going to give somebody for hitting on suspicion, or for just running somebody off the ball, professional foul style, I'm okay with that. If it's a tackle the referee has watched and deemed to play the ball, I don't want it overruled.
That's what's driving me.
That's what'll stop the play acting. You're only allowed to play act if it was off the ball. It doesn't get rid of it all, but at least it gets rid of it.
It just drives me around the bend when you see the refs say, get up. Telling them to get up, and because they don't, and they stay there, and they touch the nose, and they pull the gum shield out, and they're tapping round, whatever, then it just stops the game.
But it's the only way you're getting penalties.
Well, I did think about this, and I thought, actually, if this is my problem, because I don't like play acting, how do we solve it? And I thought, you can't really sin bin them, can you? Because if they have been hit in the head, then you can't sin bin them for staying out on the red, because then you're going to end up sin binning people actually are hurt. Do you know what I mean? So that's not the way to do it.
How do you make that decision?
I do think, possibly like you're saying, that either 2 minutes or a compulsory interchange.
Yeah.
You've stayed down and held your head or whatever. That shouldn't, maybe not even a forced HIA, because like you said, it could be face, it could be neck or whatever. But you're staying down, so now you're going to have to go off and get medical treatment.
But how do you do a fault? But it's foul play. You penalised it, it's foul play. How can you then punish a team and say you have to go off now?
You have to go off for 2 minutes.
I think the green card should be brought back in.
But green card for everything.
That's what I mean.
If you stay down and delay the game and make the referee stop the clock, green card.
You might get a penalty.
Even if you get a penalty,
you're attacking the 12.
I don't think it's punishment, because you're not saying you have to go down to 12, but you can do a compulsory
forced interchange. A forced interchange means you're down to 7.
Not a green card. A green card is down to 12 men for 2 minutes or 90 seconds.
The forced interchange, I think that could open a whole kind of worms.
What about if you don't accept it's a free interchange? So it doesn't go off you interchange. No,
they'll start using it.
Then they'll start using it, I suppose.
Any system you bring in, they'll game just like this one, and that's part of the problem.
And you know what? I want to give refs. People might disagree. We'll give them more power. You stay down. You make me stop the game. You can stand there for 2 minutes.
Green card.
Use the green card.
But what it means is, if we don't overturn them, we shouldn't overturn penalties for high shot. But that means they've got to be spotted. They've got to be spotted. But what you can't do is have somebody lie down on the floor or take a knee when you tell them to get up and play the ball,
And surely,
hold in the face, and then send them off for a green card and still give the penalty. You can't do that. You have to get somebody else to play the ball.
Yeah.
You'd have to send them off for a green card and play on. And the only time your video ref comes in and gives a yellow card or a red card is maybe, fouling the act of scoring,
And this is
professional
what- I'm
foul,
gonna say this.
off the ball hit.
Surely the video ref's watching it live. So he's watching it on Sky. We can all see the screen. It's about half a second behind. So you go into a contact and you go, oh, you've missed an obvious red card. Why can't he tell him live? Yeah, you're still getting up now to play the ball. Just tell him. If it's that obvious, surely they can tell him live. I don't know. I'd love to sit with an official and actually ask what goes through in that minute when someone's knelt down, because it is on the players and it's on everyone. But I had a big thing, and Wigan are doing it. Wigan are involved in doing this.
Every single team.
Every single team is. But I also remember 2-3 years ago, before they brought the green card in, we were the only team not going down with cramp when you had a goal line dropout.
Well,
And things like
that was because we were forcing more goal line drop. The teams that forced more goal line dropouts didn't tend to do it. It was teams lower down the table that needed the cramp.
Yeah, that would go down with cramp and waste the game.
Do you know what I saw a couple of seasons ago in the NRL? And I know they work different anyway because the video ref, the bunker works a bit different to us anyway. But the players almost got it out of the game themselves because they started holding the other players to accountable. So when they did hold the faces, they'd give them some on the floor and go like, there's one of Sam Boozer who had a Farrakhan and a cat and saying get up or whatever. But then there was another one, I can't remember which team it was, but he stays down, holds his face and whatever, and bloke corrects him, goes, you know what, actually, I used to have respect for you. And it proper, they were getting in person, and the players almost policed it out of the game by saying, come on, don't ruin the game now by doing this. You know this isn't rugby league. You get up and you pretend you're not hurt. You don't stay down holding your face. And it was almost like they did it upon themselves as the playing community.
But do you not think that
to get it
risk
out of
going
the
back
game?
to where we were, and this led to this of players trying to play on with head injuries?
Well, yeah, but I think...
It's got to be a fine balance, because you've got a head knock. We can't be asking players to get back up.
No, but we're better now at looking at those things, having independent head injury assessments. If we didn't used to have those in the game, the player go up and play his ball, it was kind of like, the physio guy, he's got up, whereas now it's actually an independent guy says, no, you've got to come off, I want to assess a head injury. So I don't know if that'll be as much of a problem as it was back in the day. Now that we've got independent bodies, but in it.
I just think we're in a very fine position here. We can't ignore it. The game's getting sued for head knocks.
Yeah.
And you're suddenly saying, listen...
Which is ridiculous.
Let's
just put that out there. I'm sorry, and I don't care, I know people are protective over this issue. In my opinion, that is, you know what you sign up for. You can't go to a golf match, get it by a ball, someone slice it and sue the player who teed off. You weren't watching a golf match, you know a ball could go anywhere, come on.
And it's the same in any sport you play. And
Usually the two lads play cricket, you could get it by a cork and it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
You can't sue the bowler or the cricketing body because they decide to use, what cork is, whatever you call cricket balls these days. It's...
But we have to be aware that the game is being sued. They have to do something about head knocks.
They have to.
And if suddenly they then go, actually, we're going to agree, because you can't be green carded at the moment for a head knock,
Not for head.
which everyone's aware of. But why do they not? You know what I'd do, actually? I just thought about it. If a player stays down like that, put the whole thing on report, and if the match review panel don't ban that player for high contact...
Oh, we're getting in...
I just think, just at the game, I'd just say it's on report, move on, play on.
The match review panel is a different kind of worms.
It's a different kind of
them
worms.
sitting in an exam, basically.
But what I'm saying is, so that one on Kade Ellis that Mattilli's got sin bin for, if they actually look at it and go, actually it's alright, there's nothing wrong with it, we won't ban you for staying down.
I
Because
disagree.
there's nothing wrong with it.
I disagree.
I think you're getting into it's a very time sensitive thing that you've got a minute on the field, really, to make a decision. And I don't think we use it on report enough.
I think this is a situation that's going to develop, and we'll be talking about it again.
It's going to get worse.
Well, it might get worse before it gets better.
Right, Matty.
Yeah,
Your Eyecatcher,
my
I've forgot. Have you
Eyecatcher is the women's game
Yeah.
before the men's match. Wigan against Saints as well. In the past, we have collapsed against St Helens. It would say, they've run out easy winners against us every time.
Always done well at the start, and then.
Yeah, this year we came into this game top of the league. We have had more games against Barrow and Featherstone, who are the weaker sides in the division, but we've been doing well. We almost beat them in this match. 16-12 defeat, but considering that Saints are the all-conquerors, they've just won the Challenge Cup with an easy win over Leeds. They're favourites for the league again. To say that we came so close, it's a good showing for Dennis Betts, and it's a very young side, Wigan side, very young. And it's a good show for Dennis Betts and his side. I'm excited to see where this young women's team can go. You know, I mean, I'd love it if they could be competing at the top.
Do you know what I thought was really good about this when I saw Dennis Betts was the coach?
Yeah.
And I thought, how good is it to have?
Matty Smith's the coach for Saints.
Yeah. But like Dennis Betts is ex Super League coach with Widnes.
Yeah,
Like, this is someone who's got coaching pedigree.
He's coached Wigan's men's team.
He's been in the England men's set up, and he's actually now investing into the women's game. And I thought that's credit to how seriously the women's game is being taken.
Yeah, I know it was
get that calibre of coaching.
I know it was interim because it was when Mike Greger was ill, but he coached Wigan's men's team for a while. But I agree. I think it's something Mike Danson clearly values.
Yeah.
With the development on the edge lane. Is it called edge lane?
I can't remember, but Oral.
Oral, yeah.
What was Oral?
Oral, what used to be Oral Rugby Union, the development on there for women's rugby and football. Yeah. Just created a football team. Women's football team didn't exist. And Emerson Boyce is the coach of that.
Yes, I've seen Emerson Boyce.
I knew you'd like that, Lewis, Emerson Boyce. One other thing I wanted to mention, it's not really an eye-catcher, just a little thing I wanted to mention was, I can't remember if I said it last week, the amount of kids at the match waving the flags. Did I mention this last week? Waving the flags. It was your old team, Lewis, last week, wasn't it? Hindley. This week, I don't know what the team was. It looked like York Knights, but it can't have been York Knights.
No, I know what you mean.
But yeah, there was a team with loads of more young players. The future of the game. Good to see again.
Right. We'll take a quick break.
Yeah,
we'll come back with some news.
Yes. Okay, I thought we'd bring back the news section, which we haven't done for almost a year, I reckon. But there's so much news this week that we have to. Now, Lewis has got the titles for the news items, so what's first on the agenda?
First on the agenda is called Vegas, baby.
Yeah, I thought that might be first on the agenda. Obviously, the news that Wigan Warriors will be giving up a home game next season to play Warrington Wolves at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. That's the stadium for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's on a quadruple bill on a Saturday, the 1st of March, with
the busy day, that, isn't it?
Canberra Raiders, the namesake, playing against New Zealand Warriors after our game. Then England women are going to play the Gillaroos. And then finally, you've got Melbourne Storm. Is it Penrith? Is it Melbourne and Penrith?
Yeah.
It's definitely Penrith, isn't it?
It's going to be a massive, massive day, that.
It's great, this, for everybody. It's such a good opportunity to be a part of this.
But do you think the one thing that's really just been a little bit of like a negative to me?
I think I know what you're going to say.
That Wigan had to go and sort it. For me.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you was going to say something else.
Go on.
Go on to the first one and I'll come back to it.
A lot of the praise has gone to Chris Radlinski, who's doing obviously a phenomenal job. And listen to his interview and you'll get a glimpse into the things that he's done at this club already.
Yeah.
And the things he's planning on doing. Why has no one from the RFL took the initiative?
The NRL were clearly, in the comments they've made, were clearly angling for a bit of Super League action.
Yeah.
They've been clearly
ferry yourselves out and we'll advertise.
They've been clearly hinting, you come on, lads. Come on.
Yeah.
We want one of your games on here as well.
And obviously the international game then has followed from that. I'm hearing talks that if we can get there, they might push for the World Club Challenge to be out there.
Yeah, the problem with that is we're going to have to get there, and then Melbourne. Oh no, it's Cronulla, isn't it? Cronulla.
It's
Penrith or Cronulla have to win, and Wigan or Warrington have to win, basically, because Warriors aren't going to win and Raiders aren't going to win. So it has to be either Cronulla.
Or hope you get a team that's open to it.
I hope you get a fifth team. Yeah, I don't know.
The week before.
But if, for example, if another English team wins a Super League, or Castellans, for example, they're not going to go to Vegas.
No. And I don't think it would be right to ask them to.
No.
But
if Wigan or Warrington win, I mean, it only gets arranged after the grand final anyway.
To just go back to my point, I just think it's so poor from the RFL that we've just... If Redlands hadn't have done that, we get 2 NRL games. Wigan, Warrington are now going to be up there. And obviously there's a bit of love for Warrington in Australia, with Sam being the coach.
I think that's why they chose Warrington.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a few reasons. Number one,
I think he's the most open to it.
It's got to be the most open to it, but it's got to be a big game. But it can't be Saints because that's the one that sells out. We've got Good Friday.
I don't even think Saints would have wanted to go. I don't get that feeling off McManus.
I think they probably would have wanted to go if they'd have been invited. You could take somebody like Hull FC if they were playing well at the moment, or Leeds. But I think Warrington's the right choice.
It's still certainly at the moment.
They're going to buy into... I mean...
But Hull are tied up going to Amsterdam to play York.
You know what Americans and Aussies are like? They're going to love the Warriors versus the Wolves. You know, they're not going to want St Helens against Hull KR. It means nothing. So I reckon Warrington's the right choice.
Yeah.
And you know what? It'll be a good occasion. Last time they did an exit poll and said over half the people there had never watched a rugby league game before, but enjoyed it.
If talking to people around Wigan might sell out that stadium, because I've spoken to that many people who said they're going. Not certain how they're all going to get there. And Warrington will take a fair few. I would love it.
Shall we say it now? We'll not be going.
No.
It's not logistically possible for us to go. It's not in...
I'm starting with a cough, mate.
It's not in school holidays, and there isn't actually a plane on Friday night that could get us there for Saturday lunchtime, so we'll make other arrangements. We'll see what we can do about this Vegas game, and we'll do something special for it.
Let's just put feels out. If anyone wants to charter us a plane and fly us out, obviously, if you've got your own spare private jet, we'll happily jump on a Friday night.
That would be lovely, yeah. The thing I was going to say to someone, I said I think I was going to say it, but it wasn't that. I've seen a couple of people, and it's only a very, very, very few small minority, you know what I'm going to say now, don't you? Who have said, because it does count as one of Wigan's home games, I hope this is reflected in the season ticket prices. Come on, it's a great opportunity. If you want to be part of things like this in the expansion projects, you've got to make a bit of sacrifice sometimes. Let's not dwell on this. It's an amazing thing. We're very thankful to be a part of it. Let's not start.
You know one of the great things about Wigan? Yeah, we're a small town and whatever. For rugby league, we're always at the cutting edge.
Yep.
We're at the front.
Yep.
We took the games to Australia.
We've been to America before.
We played the Middlesex Sevens. But we've always been one for pushing
where we go.
Our expanses. Others follow.
We played that game in Millwall. We played that game in Barcelona. We played that game in Montpellier. The worst thing about this announcement is not the people talking about losing a season ticket game. It's not the fact that we can't go. It's not what you said. What did you say again? Chris Rodlinsky. Chris Rodlinsky having to sort it. The worst thing about this announcement was Brian Kearney in that silly American flag suit at Hard Rock Cafe in Manchester.
Forgot about that.
I loved that whole thing. Burgess talking up Williams and Bevan. But that... Oh dear.
Oh no. Right. Lou, go on. What's next on this ever-long list of news?
We've got loads of that you have to get through. Yeah. This one is called KR Grab Victory, Brad Frash grabs something else.
That's a great title.
I've come up with these literally 2 minutes before we start recording this segment, by the way, so they don't all have catchy puns like this one, but...
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm going to take over here.
We'll talk about the game, next section.
Yes. How can the picture of the article that says Brad Fash charged with grabbing Elliot Minchella's testicles have the picture where it's so clear that he's got a firm hold He's not been charged.
Are we going to call Brad Fasher ball playing 13?
Nice. No, that's this podcast. He's the best ball playing 13 in the league ever.
You know what? I was actually thinking about this about 4 weeks ago. I was like, we've not had one of them for like 2 years. There used to be like one a season.
Yeah, used to
or
be,
someone had like a finger somewhere. Or, you know what I mean? There used
the
to always
proctologist.
Yeah.
What was his name? Hoppo Arte, the proctologist.
There used to always be one every year. And it was just like, we just haven't had one for ages.
No, I was surprised by this. I mean, Brad Fash, what on earth was he doing? Going for the grab. Everybody next week, watch out. We're playing against Brad Fash.
Right, Lewis.
Number 3.
Come on.
This one doesn't have a catchy pun, unfortunately, because I can't think of one. So it's just the potential. To be fair, this one doesn't really need a catch because it's not really been confirmed yet. Correct if I'm wrong, boys. It has been confirmed that England are going down under
Yeah,
to
still
a
be a
tour,
top.
an Ashes tour, and there is a potential rumour that has started that there is a possibility of reigniting the GB flag, if you will,
Yes,
the
I would
BGB
like
team,
Do it.
and doing a Great Britain
Do it.
proper back to the 2006,
Yep.
2007 Ashes tour,
Men and women.
going down.
Men and women, do it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Just all I'm going to say for that is just don't play standoffs on the wing.
It's more iconic as a brand. It's much more iconic as a brand. The Aussies will get behind it more. Great Britain, they already have the Lions going next year. The Rugby Lions going to Australia next year. Do it, why not?
Save England for World Cups.
England can do the World Cup. England can play every other time. But yeah,
Has to be a
do
GB
for the Ashes, do GB, why not? Next.
Next one is number 4th list on the item. It's Huddersfield take the bait on Luke Yates.
Oh, yeah.
This one. So
I feel
yes,
like you forced that one a little bit.
No, I liked it.
I'm trying.
I don't think that was as good as the other one.
Lewis,
Mate,
I liked it.
Mate, 5 minutes before I start recording, just remember that.
Go and have a minute and carry on looking on them rest of them.
Take the bait on Yates.
Yeah, good.
So they have. Is it this afternoon?
Yes.
Scott?
Yeah.
So that as we're recording it this afternoon. So Huddersfield have accepted money from Warrington, I believe. Warrington have
Yes,
bought.
so they'd already signed it for next year.
They signed him, but he's coming early, isn't he?
Yes, they've offered a fee. There's no reports of what the fee is.
No,
I can't imagine it being massive considering he's coming next year anyway. Warrington obviously must have a bit of space on the cap for this year. I remember we did a very similar thing with Mike Cooper. I know we didn't pay a fee for him and they just released him.
Tyler Dupree.
Tyler Dupree we paid a fee for. I think it's a good piece of business for Warrington.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good piece of business all round. I think Huddersfield are going nowhere fast. Luke Yates needs to be out of the Warrington. Need a bit of depth in that position. Good tilt. I mean,
player, Yates, I
Do you think he'll slot in at 13 from?
yeah, supposedly tied down to this. We'll do it in the same news because I've not given you a chance to do a catchy title. But Matty Nicholson off to Canberra.
Yes.
This was hilarious. This could have been my eye-catcher, by the way, this week.
I see that as a kind of direct replacement. Yates coming in to play the 13 in back row.
Just so it could have been my eye-catch this week on the Warrington game. Matty Nicholson tries to keep his cards close to his chest. Jenny Brooks asks him, will you be here next season? Jenny, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just trying to focus on with the time I've got left at Warrington. Keeps his card dead close to his chest. Sam Burgess comes on. Jenna going doing the little sneaky, asking the same question to the coach as she asked the player. Are you hopeful to have Matty Nicholson in your side next year? I thought it was news. He's gone. He's playing for Canberra next year, and just completely thought him. I thought it was, to be fair, from out there.
It was like the Smithies one last year.
throws-
Everyone knew, but no one actually.
It throws Matty under the bus. It throws Canberra under the bus as well.
Yeah, he was trying to keep his cards close to his chest. And his
He did the
coach
right
just
thing.
comes out.
Here's one actually. I just thought, if there's any rumour about you, and suddenly you get a man of the, did he get man of the match?
I think he was. He
Yeah, man of the match
played
performance,
really well.
And Jenna Brooks is stood there with a smile on her face. You know you're going somewhere. You've been signed somewhere else.
Well,
Matty
no,
might not have known.
because she did it for Bevan, and he didn't end up going anywhere.
Yeah, but
She did it at Salford.
I think she knew that he was going to sign a new contract.
Well, what's the next piece of news?
Well, before I tell you this piece of news, what did you both get in your GCSE French? Was you any good at French?
I got an E in Spanish.
I was good at Spanish.
You
I got
didn't
a
do
B in
French?
Spanish. I didn't do French.
You didn't do French, that's fine. Well, in that case, then, this one is called Catalan Trois Dismissal.
What's that? I suppose I could guess.
That's Catalan's 3 dismissals.
I like it. Yeah, that's good. That.
Yeah.
I think they could be in trouble here, Catalans.
Why?
Talks of
If we did this, if the three of us did this, we'd all be looking for jobs. I'm not being funny. If the three of us did what they've done, we would be looking for jobs. As fast as you could say burn a boy.
So go on. Let's
This is the
explain
news.
what's going on.
This is the news that 3 Catalans players, so is it Siasiwa Takiaho,
Takiaho,
Jaden
Nicarima,
Nicarima, and the young French forward Danel Diakate, have gone to London to spectate a Burna Boy concert. Don't ask me what sort of music that is. I don't know. I'll not be going to a Burna Boy concert. But they have then...
He plays a bit of country music.
They've lied about it and said they've been ill to miss training. And
They missed the England.
they also
France game.
missed a team event which was going to the England-France game together. So they've lied about being ill to miss work, basically, on 2 occasions because they've gone to a concert. I'm telling you now, if we did that, we'd be out of a job.
Oh no, I don't disagree.
Because that is so unprofessional.
I think they might.
It's not unfair dismissal. That's definitely
looking at law.
that is definitely a breach of contract. You can't lie about being sick.
We don't know what's in the contract. It might say that there's things about not turning up to training.
No, I can't believe this could be unfair dismissal. I think this is probably fair game if you're going to do that and lie about where you've been. First of all, how can your teammates then look you in the eye respectfully, knowing you've abandoned them? I know it's only training and going to a team event, but still you've decided you're more important than they are. You can miss training, you can miss team events to go to a concert.
Trust these guys. They might put the bodies on the line for you. You can't
Exactly.
put the bodies on the line.
If you're the coach, you can't trust
like that, no?
We have a sport that has multiple times re-signed players that have done far worse things.
Yeah, but it's a culture thing, isn't it? You want to build a good culture. If you're Steve McNamara, you want to build a good culture. You can't let this happen. I think it's a great decision. It sets out a step.
I agree. I think it's a great decision. I think it's very brave.
It leaves them light.
It leaves them light. I wouldn't be surprised if they look to try and get someone in now. Nicarima wasn't particularly playing. He had an injury.
I think none of them were really playing, but there's still depth. Takiaho's been injured the whole time. I think he's been after leaving for a while.
Well, he left and then came back.
Yeah. Well, that's Catalan's triple. What do you call
Triple
it?
dismissal.
Dismissal.
Triple dismissal. That's what I should call it. I just call it triple dismissal.
Triple
That
dismissal.
sounds much better than Catalan trois dismissal.
Triple dismissal sounds like a John Wick 6 or something.
Yeah,
Right?
the triple dismissal.
The triple dismissal.
We'll call it that instead. Next on the agenda, we've got. Yeah, well, I don't really want to make a pun about this one because it's not funny. A guy's lost his job. Ian Watson, unfortunately, his time has. I suppose I say unfortunately, but I forget about. But a lot of people in the rugby league world saw this coming. His time at Huddersfield has come to an end. Luke Robinson took over the game that he played this week against Lee.
Yes.
Was it? Yes. So Luke Robinson, who was the assistant, has taken on an interim basis. And Watson's gone.
I'm going to just dive in here. I heard a couple of weeks ago that Ken David, and when I say a couple of weeks ago, I'm talking the last 2, maybe 3, saying that he had all the players in and said it was their fault and that they were letting Watson down, and if they don't improve, they won't be in jobs next season. From a couple of weeks ago, having it all on the players. You're letting Watson down. They backed Watson and gonna got who's the big forward this time? Tom Burgess.
Yeah.
What we've been screaming out they needed. They were prepared to let Jake Connor go. I just wonder what's happened in the last couple of weeks to suddenly.
No,
suddenly see the change. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's both true. The players have been letting Watson down, but Watson also clearly is no longer the right man for the job.
There was a lot of things going on. The Connor not playing.
Yeah.
There was the stuff that he said he didn't want to play. There was a bit of falling out. Yates going. I thought, I know obviously he's gone early now. He was your club captain, wasn't he? And he's going to Warrington. There was a lot going on.
I sort of get that. With the Watson news, it sort of makes sense that they're just trying to get on.
Yeah.
Weird thing, I've just got to say, really weird. The way they worded this, they said he's been stood down. Normally, it's a mutual consent.
Yeah,
we both agreed.
Never read into them though.
Do you think this is actually not they've come together and said we can't carry this on? They might have just sacked him.
I don't know. You can never read into them too much. What's next on the list?
Second to last one, this one. Arthur, the saviour of Headingley? Question mark is this one. I'll pause it as a question for you. So Brad Arthur, former Parramatta Eels coach, recently sacked by them, taking over Leeds, I believe, until the end of this season, isn't it? He's actually confirmed for next season as of yet. I think.
There are rumblings that the new team that we spoke about on last week's episode, the Perth team, are after Brad Arthur.
Right, okay.
So when he would actually take up that office, I don't know, because Bennett did a setup year.
So he had a year before he actually played.
No, it's still 2.5 years before this Perth team's going to play an official game. The Bears, so called. So
why is it they're coming in 2027?
Yeah. So it's 2.5 years. So you wouldn't expect Brad Arthur to be 2.5.
You think he'd be in it in 2026?
Yeah, you wouldn't expect him to be 2 years in the office before they even play an official game.
Also, can't imagine Leeds signing him for 2025.
No, I don't.
And then letting him go.
I don't know. So I don't know. It's weird that it's on. I would have thought it would have been an 18-month contract.
Yeah.
But then if he starts building something, and you have to let him go.
Well, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is with a lot of players. I mean, I'm sure that's the way it's going to be with Sam Burgess.
I think they've got someone. I think they've got someone for 2025.
If they have, then Brad Arthur's a pretty good signing for the rest of the year, but it's also expensive.
I don't get why do it? Just
Is
like
it?
the interim.
Yeah.
Let's
it's very expensive.
Take until the end of it.
Is Chev Walker ready to try and fix the issues? Because Brad Arthur's got 6 months now to fix the issues.
But if he's not the man next year, he's not. He's brought in to try and get them in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a strange one, but
we'll see how that goes. Yeah, he was at the game on Thursday, wasn't he?
He was, but yeah, he was there. But I thought this was actually quite good of him. To be fair, he didn't. He came on, he introduced himself, met the players, but then just kind of said to Chev Walker and the team, "Look, I've only just landed. I'm not going to step on your toes. You see out this week. I'll start on Monday."
Yeah.
But no one would blame him for not turning up. He just took a 24-hour flight.
He went and watched him.
Yeah, good for him. So we've only got one left, have we?
One left. New signing for KR. They have signed the London
Hawker.
Nine,
he's a nine.
But he's not played because he's injured currently. His name is, I believe, it's
Bill Leyland.
Bill Leyland.
His brother's playing, so there might be a bit of confusion. His brother
is the halfback Ollie.
Is the halfback Ollie. Kicks the goals. Quite short. They look the same. They might be twins actually because they look the same. Or they might just be brothers. Come through Kent system. Kent Panthers, I think it is. But they've both done really well in the championship last year. Bill was Young Player of the Year, I believe, or joint Young Player of the Year.
Really rated highly, and there's a lot of talk about him playing in Super League this year. And then obviously his injury's been unfortunate.
Hopefully he can bounce back from that with KR and have this good opportunity.
Yeah.
Interesting signing a 9 with got Parcell.
Yeah, Parcell and Litton.
Well, obviously they're.
I don't know if he can play halves as well, though. Might just play like halves as well.
Again, there's a bit of obviously the quarter. Obviously they're bringing Warrior Hargreaves in. Don't think they're losing anyone on the quarter. Because I don't think many players leaving.
Opacek might leave.
So
they need some signings from Britain, you mean?
Maybe something around Parcell. I heard he might have been moving on anyway, so there might be something in that, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it for the news?
And that's all the news.
That's the longest news we've ever done. There's so much news this week. And we've not even touched on Down Under, really, with State of Origin coming this week. We'll talk about that next week. Alright, we'll be back to go around the grounds.
So we're going to go around the grounds now with a quick report on what happened. Really glad to see a game on Thursday. It was really nice to watch this, and it was a decent game. Warrington Leeds. Obviously, Leeds' new man was there.
Yep.
What do you think? How do you think Leeds performed? Do you think you'll be happy with that performance? Or
They had a few good spells, but really they were never really on top, I don't think. Warrington always had just enough.
I don't think Warrington really got out to second or third gear.
No. Leeds just seem to let teams roll them down the end of the field. They have no line speed or intensity in the defensive out.
They have nice people. There's no aggression in it.
Yeah, there's no.
They get out there and then just lose every contact.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think Brad Earth, obviously, he said in the last section, Tommy, no one would have blamed him for not watching the game after he just got off the flight, but I think he'll be glad he did.
I think
He can tidy something. He goes, right, okay, what do I need to work on? And he knows where he'll be straight into. So like we said, he's only got a short period of time for the turn this round, so he needs to identify the problems quick so he can fix them.
Got 3 weeks on it for me. 3 weeks if he actually wants to get top 6. You maybe got 2 or 3 weeks to fix it.
Yeah, best get started straight
New
away.
coach feeder can sometimes outcount it, but
They
that can be Rowan Smith when he first coming.
They could do it the win this week,
So,
big time.
Yes, they could.
Wyatt, just doing a job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
Professional.
Looking good this season,
Duffy was
Wyatt.
decent again, yeah.
The third son looking very good this
Nicholson, man of the match, I think, was excellent.
season. Good play.
I think he was man of the match. He was really good.
Yeah.
Right. Friday night, Castleford went out to London. They played it at one of the outgrounds again. What was it? Which one was it?
Ebbsfleet. It must have been something on at Plough Lane. Or maybe they
With the off-season work,
they got some prior commitment or something, I don't know.
But Castleford, back-to-back wins, 34 points to 20. I think Castleford are a bit disappointed conceding 20. They've done improved defensively. If you look at the wins, the games the last couple of weeks, kept Saints to 6 or 8, kept Wigan to 10. They really defended well, so to concede 20 points to London, do you think they'll be a little bit disappointed with that?
Well, it's just about winning the game, I think, isn't it?
I think, yeah, for someone in Cass's position, you take the 2 points and you move on and you look to the next week. But yeah, good victory for them. Unfortunate for London again to be on the wrong end of the scoreline, but we've said it week on week out how they're struggling.
Yeah.
It's always every game's going to be challenging for London.
Do you think they win another game?
I don't know. Hopefully, for their sake. But yeah, just grind it out to the end of the season and see what you can do.
Yeah.
Right. Lee. Weird. There was 2 games kicked off at the same time on Saturday. Not something they've done usually.
There
wasn't one Sunday.
I went for Lee. I watched Lee.
Yeah. Lee, Huddersfield. Lee win, 20 points to 16.
Good game, this.
Yeah.
Can I mention it? Savelio, red card.
Horror tackle.
Oh, it was a bad one.
And he said afterwards, when the ref put the red card in the air, he said, "What, am I not allowed to tackle him hard?" And Tom Grant said, "Well, yeah, but just not if you hit him in the back of the head." I know there was some mitigation because he was already being tackled. And it's Mulhern again, unfortunately. Mulhern twice in 2 weeks on the receiving on the receiving end of a foul play. But you can't just. And he had time to adjust. And like I said before, this is not Mike Cooper. This is not Matty Lees where they're doing a normal tackle and they slide at the last second. This was he lost height and he still put some serious force into it. This is the dangerous style tackle. This
the one that really don't like.
This is the ones where it can cause some serious injury.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember he's just come back from suspension.
He's played 4 matches for Huddersfield and he's been red carded twice. I wish I was joking.
No.
He's played 4 games and he's been.
Did he get away with the first one?
I don't know if he got banned or something.
Right. Want to talk about Franklin Pele, his old club. Hull FC vs Hull KR. Better performance from Hull FC, I'm going to say. To not be blown out, they've been poor in the last 2 derbies. Hull KR win 24 points to 10. Don't think Hull KR were great. Just get a win.
Just win. If you're playing a rival, it doesn't really matter. Just win.
They've now won. Is it 3 from 3 against?
Yeah, they've won all their games.
All the derbies, 3 from 3.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. This, and I think KR just be setting themselves up now.
They'll just try and get the as many wins as they can in the league and try and build a bit of momentum in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they can do, like we've said before, they might get a home fixture in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit for them, really, because Craven Park's going to be a difficult place to go in a big game atmosphere.
Right, the 5:30 kick-off on Saturday. I don't want to spoil predictions, but Matty, me and you got this wrong. We both went Salford.
Yes.
The listeners were Salford as well.
I think so, yeah. I'll just double check. I think they did.
Lewis, you got this one right. So,
It's my safe bet, Catalans at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go to.
And you know what? For the league, I'd always skip off the game itself. I don't think this was a game of great quality, but a good win for Catalan.
Oh no, the listeners got this one right.
Really good Catalan.
Yeah.
But it puts the league on such a brilliant position. You put a tweet out, Matty.
Yeah, it was good that, wasn't it?
Set up. We're going to sat on 28 points to the game in hand.
I don't know what you call that. It's like the properly spaced out table.
Yeah.
It's not really a catchy name. Lewis can think of a name for it.
But Warrington and Hull Care on 24. St Helens, Catalans and Salford now all sat on 22. Leeds just within touching distance on 18. Not to spoil predictions, but they play Hull Care this week. If Hull Care win, I think that's Leeds out of any top 6 contention, really. It's really jockeying for positions.
Oh yeah, there's starting to take shape now. What have we got? 10 rounds left.
10 rounds left.
Obviously, we've got 11.
Wigan only have got 11.
But there's 10 rounds to go, really.
Do you think any of them are favourites to get top 2 or 4, shall I say?
Well, I was looking at some work that Love Rugby League did earlier that had judged the run-ins for each team. And Catalan had got by far the easiest run-in.
So would you say they're favourites
to
get the top 4?
I'd say Catalan, you would say, are favourites to get in the top 4. Yeah, you'd probably say so. If they've got the easiest running. The hardest running, actually, was Leeds. But Leeds is very, very favourable too. It's got to be. We talked about how hard their beginning was. Warrington's have got a decent one. Warrington's running is decent. Ours is average. Warrington's is decent. Lee is decent. Catalan's is easiest. Lee's is the hardest. So if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I'd probably say the top 2 is going to stay the same. Wigan and Warrington. And maybe you could even say Lee have a better chance than Leeds to make it.
5 points to go to catch.
I know it's 5 points. I know 5 points is a lot. Yeah, maybe not then. But I just think Leeds are going to be finding it really tough.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's keeping the league alive right till the last minute, isn't it?
Big time. Which one? Saints, Catalan, Salford make the top 4. Do you all think Catalan?
I think Catalan made the top 4.
So Saints to miss the top 4.
I don't know. Maybe Saints could be 4.
It's going to be really interesting, that.
So they're going to get a home game. If Catalan's get a home game, then they'll be favourites to get through to semi-final. If it's Catalan against Saints at home again, that's rough for Saints, I think. It's going to be a tough game. If that's 4th and 5th, the 4th and 5th match, Saints have got to finish above Catalan.
Wigan, Saints, KR is my top 4.
Okay.
I've just thought then, I was going to say Saints need a home fixture, I think, in the playoffs.
I don't think necessarily they need a home fixture. I think they need to avoid going to KR and Catalan.
But then I was going to say, but can you see, if you were to play us, I think it always goes with home advantage. Catalan, KR, Warrington, very good side at home.
Warrington are a good side.
So then,
anyway,
I'm actually looking and going, how many teams do you think can go away and win? I always fancy us. Obviously, I can't really comment on that. But
I'm hoping we're not going to have to play an away game.
I'm not fancying KR to go away from home in the playoffs and win. I'm not fancying. I can't believe how. I feel like 10 years ago, a lot of teams would go into the playoffs and turn someone over at home.
Well, it happens most times.
But I can't see it at the moment. I just can't.
The last few years, felt like
I just can't see it. Right.
Wrap that up.
Yeah, that's around the grounds. We'll come back and we'll have a little look at the NRL and some predictions. So we're going to have a quick look at the NRL. Only 5?
Yeah.
5 games on. Obviously, it's Origin week. And
it's the last Origin affected. Well, I suppose you could say next weekend Origin affected because there might be a few rested. But in terms of how many matches there are, it's the last Origin affected one.
I am going to, what's the word? Add that onto the predictions. That's just reminded me of that last game. So start thinking about that. But let's have a look at these games. First of all, Thursday, Dolphins played South Sydney Rabbitohs.
This would be a funny one, Lewis. You know, before we were talking about the ladder match, the custody of Wayne Bennett ladder match.
Yeah, that was really
Like they used to do back in the day with Dominic Mysterio. Dirty Dom.
When in custody of a child via a ladder match.
He won custody of a child with the ladder match, Rey Mysterio. So you know that. You're not a one WWE fan of it. That's what happened. This is the custody of Wayne Bennett match.
Not for me. But speaking of Wayne Bennett, people saying in the media that he should stand down for this game because he's signed to go to the Bunnies.
No.
And I just want to throw into this, obviously, Jason Riles signed for Parramatta on a 4-year deal, and now the Storm have got rid of him. So I do think if the Bunnies had any issue with it, and not the Bunnies, if the Dolphins had any issues with Wayne Bennett already being contracted somewhere else, I think they'd probably.
Well,
make
they
a
knew he
decision
was
to him.
leaving.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really bothered.
He's done a good job for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
He's
but
done
he
for
was-
that club as a starter club and setting it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
36 points to 28, big win for the Dolphins. I think this pretty much puts them there to be in the top 4, to the top 8. Sorry.
Yeah, they did it without Hammer as well.
Which is obviously always a massive loss.
Yep.
Do you think they could cause an upset if they made it to the top 8?
Absolutely, I do. I like that Trey Fuller though.
I really like it.
You know, when Hammer doesn't play, they have Trey Fuller.
Mm.
I wonder if, obviously the Origin this week, when he comes back, Hammer, could they get Fuller into the game another way? Because he's played really well, hasn't he?
And Hammer is effective at centres.
Hammer can play anywhere.
Um,
I don't know. It's one for Wayne to think about.
right, the West Tigers, they took a battering off Cronulla.
Yeah.
I know Cronulla have been trying to prove a point, and obviously Nico's injured now, so I'm sure they can win without him. But West Tigers are the most up and down team I've ever met. When you just think they're getting it right, they just mess it up again. 58 points to 6.
That Atkinson moved into the halves, didn't it? Is it David Atkinson?
Yes.
Who's been playing full back. He moved into the halves.
I just don't think you can comment on anything that they do because it's against the West Tigers. It's like playing London at the moment. Gold Coast beat Parramatta Eels. Obviously, Parramatta have announced that Jason Riles is coming. I think that's a great appointment for them.
Yeah.
He might even come early now. He's been released by Melbourne. But Gold Coast are really starting to look like a Des Hasler team. They're looking better defensively. They've not lost Fafita to Origin, which is always a big loss.
He was good as well in this game.
He was really, really good.
Another fullback going into 6, Jaden Campbell.
Yeah.
For Titans.
Um,
No
I
Moses.
just-
No Moses.
I just think the Titans are just starting to look
There's you.
as if they're getting back to where they were before they sacked Paul
Yeah,
Buck.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree.
I don't think Hasler can take them past that though.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But
I'd
they,
be interested with that.
I don't think they were in a terrible position when Holbrook was let go.
No. Right, 2 more games to look at. Brisbane hosted St George. St George get the win. Obviously, a lot of players missing for Brisbane.
Yeah.
Still no Adam Reynolds. Reece Walsh in Origin. Payne Haas in Origin. Who else were they missing? I think there was someone else as well. 30 points to 26. I think Brisbane are in genuine risk of missing the 8.
4 points behind, aren't they? Pre-season favourites. Well, obviously after Penrith.
But then again, if Reynolds gets back fit before there and they make the 8,
How long is he though? I've not even heard. Reynolds, I've not heard how long he's going to be
I think
out.
they're keeping it a bit close to the chest.
Yeah.
Very weird, isn't it? How, they've still got quality on that pitch, Brisbane.
Yeah.
Reece Walsh and Ezra Mann. But Adam Reynolds goes and it just seems like they fell apart. They could never recover from losing, could they?
No. He does take them over very
He
well.
does, don't get me wrong, he is a fantastic player, but you think, you can see him maybe losing a couple of big games because they've not got him on the field, but to fall out the top 8 just because they're missing one player. When they've got that much quality around it as well.
They brought Josh Rogers in. Who else played there? Someone else played there at 7. When you look at Penrith and they lose Cleary, they bring in
The villainous Brad Schneider.
Brad Schneider and they bring in
Cole.
Jack Cole. They've got 2 automatic replacements, and before that they had Dingy Salmon, who's gone over to
Jack Cogger.
the Dolphins. They had Jack Cole. They had a replacement of similar nature. Obviously not as good, but would manage the game. I don't think Brisbane have got that, and there isn't many game managers out there. Right, last one.
Don't go and get Harry Smith though.
Stay away. Manly, I've got to say it. Tommy Turbo, back again, second week now. I just love watching him play.
You do like him, don't you?
Oh, he can just do everything. Like, if he stays fit, for me, he's the best player in the comp. He's so strong, so fast, so give him the ball and he'll score. Sort of like.
You know who never gets mentioned for Manly? Jason Saab. I think he's turned himself into a pretty decent winger, hasn't he?
He was fast, but wasn't.
He was always fast. You know, he was always fast. And then I think he's got it all round now. I think he's turned himself into a decent winger.
44 points to 6, Manly win.
Yeah, against the Knights. Yeah.
Obviously, Will Price played.
Yeah.
Was in the house with Jackson Hastings.
That's the 3rd game up bounce he's played now. Will Price for the Knights.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be tough for him now to see whether he gets trusted again. Whether he plays next week with the. Is anyone returning? I don't think anyone's returning anytime soon to play in the halves. They've got Ponga back at fullback. Obviously involved in Origin. But will Price come in? How will he bounce back after a big defeat? It's going to be a real question.
Yeah, I hope it goes well. I want to see him do well down there, Will Price.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't spiral. I hope he doesn't have a poor game off the back of this.
If he this
is the difficult game now for him to have a big defeat as a halfback.
If he stays as the halfback for Knights and he plays well the next 18 months, then he'll be in the tour, won't he, for the Ashes?
Yeah,
he'd have to be.
Yeah. Carpius Paul also played 80 minutes.
Yeah. Play a lot.
Doing his job now. He's now playing 80 minutes back to back.
Playing a lot, hasn't he? Playing a lot more than I thought he might have done.
Yeah. Right, that wraps up the NRL. We'll come back and then we've got quick fire predictions. Thank you. So, got some quick fire predictions. There's a bit of interest in this at the moment because of maybe some new coach fever, some sackings, players moving on.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of tense. I don't know what the right word is, but you can get what I'm getting at. A little bit of nerves around who to pick and a bit of could someone just make an upset? So I'm going to start off with Huddersfield Salford. 3 games on Friday, all at slightly different kickoffs. 7:45, 8 o'clock and 8:05. Don't know why.
Well, you want a 7:45?
Yeah. Huddersfield Salford at 7:45.
Huh.
Matty, who are you going?
I will go for Salford.
Lewis?
Yeah, I'm going for Salford.
Huddersfield were much better this week.
Yeah, they were. Really were.
New coach fever though.
But not enough for me to start backing every week like I used to. Someone over Salford.
You don't have a process to trust?
I don't.
Yeah, I think Salford.
I've got to go Salford as well.
Salford should have too much really for them. They need to bounce back after that poor performance against Cats. I think Salford should have enough.
Maybe it's been 2 poor performances from Salford. Only
Yeah,
just
they
beating
weren't great
LFC.
against Hull FC, and Rowley said they weren't great in that game either. So yeah, you're right there.
This might be a statement game.
I hope it is. Salford get back on the horse.
Right, the 8 o'clock kickoff. I think this is the one that everyone will be watching. St Helens Warrington. One that has just got so much playing on it. Warrington haven't beat Wigan in the league. This is the first time they're playing Saints. The last year's top 2. They beat Catalan once but lost to them. Do they need to beat Saints to be real contenders and maybe upset something? Who are you going for, lads?
I'm going for Warrington. I think they're going to win this. I think they're going to upset.
It is at St Helens.
I know. I think they're going to win this one. I think they're going to upset Wellens. I think they're going to get that top 2. Well, not cemented, but I think they're going to get the top 2. They're going to take a big more.
They're going to take it into.
They're going to take a step. Yeah, take a step towards being the top 2. Although I think Hull KR are going to win as well. So, well, we'll see. Hull KR are going to be good. So we'll see if they get a step closer to that top 2.
Lewis, who you go, mate?
I'm going to go Saints. I think they need it more than Warrington. I know you're saying Warrington need to prove they can beat one of the big 2 in the league. I know they have beat Saints in the Cup, haven't they, already this year, but I feel like for Saints, like we said before, that would be the 4th, wouldn't it? Straight loss if they were to lose this. So I think they need it.
And I'm going Warrington purely for the same reason as Matty. I think Saints are in a nervy position. I think we might just feel that. And with being at home, I don't think a performance is good enough. If they play well and lose, like last week, or go behind, I think that stadium could get a little bit twitchy and a little bit nervous, and it might just rub off on them. So many questions. Do you bring back Dodd? There's a lot of questions about that Saints side. And I'm not confident in them. So I'm going to go Warrington.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Right, this is the 8:05 kickoff. Not got a clue why it's at 8:05, according to this app that I'm using. Might be wrong. Lee.
Oh, that says 5 as well.
Alright. Lee versus London.
Can we go through our different apps? Mine didn't say that one was at 1:45. You know, like the first one.
Alright.
My Sky Sports News app said it was at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm on Flash
So you come
Score.
on TV
I'm on
at
Flash
1:45.
Oh no, I'm on Sofa Score, sorry.
I'm on Flash Score. It says 8 o'clock.
Oh, we'll find out then.
We'll see.
Lee, London. Any of you two brave enough to pick London? Because I'm not.
No. Lee get the win here.
Yep. So let's move on.
I'm interested to see actually before this is not about the game, but I'm interested to see what Lee do around this fixture because obviously it's not a big match. Wigan Saints Warrington, you'd expect bit of pomp and circumstance, big crowd. This one, I wonder what they do to draw the people in. I wonder if they've done a deal or maybe got some top flight entertainment. I don't know. Be interested to see it.
It's a big game this for Lee.
Lee need to win. And
Lee have to win.
You can advertise this,
and then you can
Lee are
really
probably going
kick
to
on.
win.
Lee have got a run here of a couple of games where the playing teams that they want to play, London Saints, Cass, Hull FC, they've got to get this start going well.
Cass in there and Saints.
You know what I mean? They've got to get this going. They can get a good win here. Try and catch Saints at a bad time. They could make a push for the 6. I think Lee convincingly. Right, I'm going to leave Wigan till the end. Always do. Leeds, Hull KR. Matty, who are you going?
You know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go for Leeds. I'm going to go for Leeds. New coach, Headingley. I'm hoping that the sort of the toxicity and the disappointment and the dejection is gone from Headingley, and we're going to have a new start. Fans are going to get behind the team again, and I think Leeds could. I don't think Hull KR were great last week. I think Leeds could get a win here at home.
Lewis?
Yeah, I'm agreeing, Matty. I'm going to go Leeds. I think I'm just purely for new coach fever. I've said it a couple of times now. It tends to be the cliche of using this episode, but Brad Arthur coming in. He's got to wait on from Monday. He's watched him last week, I think. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
I'm going to go Hull KR for a slightly out there reason. The last couple of weeks we've talked about Hull KR not being great away from home, and I think they would have picked Headingley as a game they were targeting before Rowan Smith got sacked. I think there'd have been a lot of preparation. We've got to go to Leeds, put a performance in, big win away from home, and I don't think that will change. I still think that'll be the focus, even after a change of coach. I think they'll see this as a potential. Let's prove we can play away from home.
Yeah.
Might be wrong, but
no,
I
think Hull KR will be favourites. I think I'll be surprised if the listeners didn't pick Hull KR.
Yeah, I think listeners will pick.
I think me and Matty went for the underdog, just for, like we said, new coach.
Keep it interesting, and we've got to try and catch up to the listeners anyway. So pick a few underdogs.
Right, on the Sunday, I know I've left Wigan out for a second. There is a game on the Sunday this week. Castleford Catalans. Who do you think, Matty?
I think Catalans. They were decent last week, and Cass have obviously had that where they've had those back-to-back wins. I think it'll have taken a lot out of them. They played well in the 2 defeats prior to that as well. So yeah, I think Catalans.
I just think there won't be enough in the tank for Cass.
Yeah, I agree. Catalans I'm going for.
I hope it's not a blowout.
No, I don't think it will be.
I hope Cass stick in the lose, but lose playing well.
I think it could be because, Catalan, all the controversy they've had going on off the pitch.
Yeah. They did put in a decent. They did put in a decent performance though
They
on
announced that
Saturday.
before last week's game.
Yeah, they got a good performance on Saturday. Pretty good.
Right. Wigan travel to Hull on Saturday, 2:00 kickoff.
Yeah.
I know we're all going to go
It's a
Wigan.
bit weird, isn't it? 2 o'clock, like 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's usually 3 o'clock.
Maybe it's just to do with the travel back.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, I suppose it's good as well because you probably watch both.
Yeah, you can probably watch both.
Second half of the Leeds game.
Do you see? Where do you see this game being won? I'm going to ask you. Obviously, we all go Wigan, and it's a bit. It's a bit whatever.
We've not played all, have we this year?
No.
Hopefully, just bully them.
Class, I think. I don't see it being one down the middle around the edges. I think we'll just have too much class for them.
I think you're right. That's our two best players, but I think Brad coming back in will make a big difference.
Yeah, I saw enough good stuff last week to maybe,
some proper distribution from 9. You don't really appreciate it while it's there sometimes.
You know what I would love to see this game? I'd love to see Farrimond take a bit like he did against London. Take them on a bit. Obviously, I know it's a bit harder when you're playing Saints and the opposition gets a bit.
I would say about the last couple of games, I know he's not been effective doing it, but he has took it to the line a couple of times. He's been put on his back and whatever. And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm just glad he kept going.
What I'm more talking about is to have the confidence. Now he's got O'Neill back in. He's going to get good distribution from that. South London, go nice and wide, ask for some nice wide passes from O'Neill for, get that A and B defence start.
Can he just
going
skip
that left foot step on and,
I think
just
so.
have some. He's got the distribution from 9 to do it. So
They got some plodders for FC. I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I think that could be. Well, he's underrated, Brad O'Neill.
Yeah,
For his, and we rate him really highly, but he's underrated even by Wigan supporters for his distribution.
Yeah.
He's just so good.
He's really good. He's really talented. I think in terms of 9 duos in the league, O'Neill and Leeming, I think is the best 9 duo in the league. I like Walker and Powell, although I think they should switch them round and, you know what I mean, bring Walker off the bench. And I think that's what we should do for England. But I also like Litton and Parcell, as I've said many times. But I think O'Neill and Leeming's the best 9.
Pape and Dwyer.
Yeah, that is a good partnership as well. Although Pape carries that one a lot.
I think they're very similar. And the two that I really like at the moment, ours and Warrington's, I think they're the ones that have got the two biggest differences in 9.
Yeah.
Lytton is very. I know he's not the same player as Parcell.
No.
But
I like him as a 1-2 punch, but they are a bit similar.
yeah, I think the thing that Wigan and Warrington have both got at the moment is a massive difference between the way they can play and how easily they can roll between one and the other.
You could say Clark and Ambai, but I just think Clark should just do 80 minutes because he's good enough.
Yeah.
You did great on Friday, didn't you, playing 80 minutes?
Yeah. Right, that wraps it up, lads.
Yeah.
Been a great episode.
It's been fantastic.
So good in it when we win.
It's amazing.
Just love winning. Especially when it's against them.
Yep. Let's hope for the same on Saturday.
Yeah.
Keep that lead at the top of the table.
Thank you for coming back on, and
Always a pleasure.
hopefully we'll see you next week. Thank you.
See you again.